There's so much goo on here. It just has to be windy at this very second. Gotta get on it, of course. Welcome to the first episode of Unfucking My Mustang. If you missed the last couple episodes, I purchased this thing on Cars and Bids. It's seen better days. I mean, it's a 15-year-old Mustang, and yeah, it's got a lot of miles on it, but I did take it to the track, and it held up pretty well. It's got a new engine, so that helps. And when I say it held up pretty well, it did until it didn't. The brakes completely overheated and boiled. We're not gonna fix any of that today, but what we are gonna fix are a couple things. Number one, this thing has a rear diff leak, but more specifically, there is a breather on the axle that is hitting the exhaust. I'm gonna relocate that today and also upgrade to a nicer and with more cooling fins for track work rear diff cover. This is, I believe, from a Boss 302 of this generation. And also, we're gonna put some non-shitty wheels and tires on this thing. This is some off-brand wheels and tires that are completely cooked. And I'm not super big on the black, to be honest with you. So I picked up these. These are off of a 2024 Mustang GT. They're like not the craziest wheels. They're not the widest wheels, but they're a square setup, which I really love, so I can rotate them around. And I really do like the silver finish of them. So while we have this thing in the air and we're doing the diff, we're gonna put these wheels on. So come along as we unfuck my Mustang. Okay, here are our problems. You can see a leak here. I believe it's stemming from this breather valve up here, which you can see has been clearly hitting the exhaust many times. In fact, it seems like maybe the axle is also hitting the exhaust. This is not the best exhaust, but either way, this breather valve needs to get relocated. So I think what I'm gonna do, I believe it's called a panhard bar, which attaches on either side. I think that's going to get in my way and just be a pain. It's only 2 bolts, so I'm going to take that off first. And then hopefully we'll have better access to the rear diff cover itself, and we'll just start taking off those 8 to 10 bolts. Now, the first thing you should do before you drain any diff oil is to see if you can remove the filler hole, because if you can't do that, you can't put fluid in. So we're gonna break this loose. It's literally just a 3/8 square, and break it loose just so you can, you can break it loose so you can fill it up. Gosh, this thing is extremely mushroomed. It's been hitting this exhaust for clearly a long time. Let's see if we can get this thing off. There's so much goo on here. Okay, now can we fit a wrench on it? Maybe. All right, check that out. That is one mushroomed breather vent. Here's what we're working with for replacement parts. This is the part number if you guys need this for the valve. This is what the valve should look like, and this is what mine looks like because it's been hitting the exhaust. This is a plug that I'm gonna put in where I just took that piece out because this new breather valve is gonna go on this diff cover. Basically, this cover has sort of a blocking plate to prevent splashing, but it still allows the diff to breathe. So that's the plan. Let's put this little plug in. Okay, this is 7/16. See how much I could screw it in by hand. All right, it's finally time to do what we came here for, and that's to take this diff cover off. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these. It's gonna take me a little time to get these off. Now, one advantage I have here is the fact that I am not reusing this diff cover. So in order to get this off, I can be a little more forceful. Because if I mess up this diff cover, I'm putting a new one on, it doesn't really matter. If you're using the same one, maybe don't do this. Maybe be a little more delicate. But whoever put this on last, put about whatever the total output of 3M is in terms of silicone, they put that on here. They put so much on. So, there we go. Oh, I hate the smell of gear oil. It just has to be windy at this fucking very second. There we go. All right. And that is a diff. Okay, now this is the super boring and tedious part, but you want to clean up this mating surface here as best you can. And if you're going to use a razor blade like this, you got to just be really careful not to scratch the surface too much. Now I'm using a different gasket than what was on here. I'm hoping this doesn't matter too much, but I've also put a towel here, you could tell, so I'm not gonna get all kinds of crap, hopefully, in the differential. So go around and scratch that old sealant off. All right, I've done an okay job getting that sealant off. Now you want to come through with some brake clean and clean this surface up really good as you can get it, because you don't want to have to do this again. So rather than use RTV and make a mess, I just bought this gasket on Amazon. I'll leave a comment if it doesn't work out. If it leaks, I'll make sure to leave a comment in the description. But this is meant to be reusable, and I'm just hoping it's going to make less of a mess and just make this a little easier the next time I need to do this. Okay, these are all snugged up. It looks fantastic. Now it's time to fill it up with some fluid. So one of the nice parts about this diff cover is that there has a fill hole. I just took out the plug for the fill hole. I still have the stock diff fill hole open, but it's just gonna be easier to fill from back here rather than over there. The drive shaft is in the way. There's all kinds of stuff. So it's actually just nice that you can fill from here. I'm also gonna be using this Valvoline stuff. I've never used this bag method before, but it seems like a great idea. And this has limited slip additive. I have kept this in the sun all day, so it's nice and warm. And that way, that's a nice little trick to do because the fluid will move quicker. See, like I'm already almost done with this bag. Yeah, this is sweet. I've never done this bag method. It's way better than those bottles trying to pump it in. Oh, this is tits. It's gonna take about 2.5 quarts, I do believe. We'll find out once it comes out of the fill hole. All right, this is a part I'm very much looking forward to. It's way more fun just to put wheels on rather than crawl around in a bath of gear oil. These are off of a S650 Mustang, which is a 2024 newer, or 25, whatever. And the only thing that my understanding you have to do to get these to work is to use the lug nuts from a S197, which is what this is. And it looks like it's gonna be good. I just bought these lug nuts off of Amazon. And it looks like it's gonna work. I like the silver for sure. With the rear end weighted up, it's nice to see kind of what these look like close to what the actual ride height is rather than waiting until you lower it. Let's see what this looks like. All right, let's pull it out and see what it looks like. It's time to test out our changes and a couple things that we're looking for. The first thing was the fact that, gotta get on it, of course, the exhaust was hitting that breather valve and just making a whole ton of noise. So I'm on this road, there's like some just little splits in the pavement here. No noise. That's really nice because that was super annoying, especially you notice a lot at low speeds in parking lots. Anytime there was bumps, you would hear the exhaust hit the freaking axle because that's where that stupid breather valve was. So very happy to have that fixed. Now, of course, I can't tell any difference with a aftermarket cover there on the diff pan, and I can't really tell a difference in fluid either, of course. But what's the most surprising part, other than like fixing the sound, which is my main thing, these wheels and tires have actually made a massive difference in the way this car rides. That's something that I don't think a lot of people really quite know or understand, is the fact that even if you have the same size tires, brand to brand, model to model, they will handle very differently and also ride very differently. They have different sort of stiffnesses of the sidewall. Now, there's a couple things that are going on here. Number one, we have more sidewall. These are 19-inch wheels as opposed to 20-inch wheels that were on the car, so we have more squishiness. And then the other fact is these are just far superior tires. I had these like, or the car that I bought them on, the tires that I bought this on were absolute trash. So the combination of more sidewall, an inch more sidewall, and having a far superior tire has made this car actually ride surprisingly really well. Like, this is actually perfect for what I would consider like a muscle car. It is lowered and firm enough to like have a decent enough time on a curvy road, but it's compliant. And that's the biggest thing for me with muscle cars is they have to be compliant. And this thing soaks up bumps so much better. So that is actually a very pleasant surprise. Now, I'm super happy with these changes. A little goes a long way in noise and vibration and also ride quality. The next thing that we need to address are these brakes, because after that track day, I boiled the fluids. I've noticed that these calipers seem to be sticking now, and also the pedal is just so mushy. So, of course, doing fluid would help, but what I really want to do is a budget big brake kit. So that's what we're going to do in the next episode of Eat, Sleep, Drive. I'm going to source some parts from newer generation Mustangs, and we're going to save some money, but get a killer big brake kit going, and do it on the cheap. And I will bring you guys along for the ride. If you made it this far in the video, guys, thank you very much. Consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.